Good morning, church family. Ron Branscombe here. This morning we get a chance to study 1 Corinthians chapter 4, and I like to kind of label this chapter as this Paul guy is no better than any of us, because Paul is really responding to unkind things that he was hearing. And he starts the chapter with the reference of how they should be referred to as servants or stewards of God's word. And he goes down a list of various items of where he could care less of who's judging him or how they're judging him. His only concern with the judgment of Jesus. And Jesus is going to expose the motives of the heart. And what piercing word that is, not only to the church today, but to the Corinthians at that time, to sit there and needle in on the fact of the motives of the heart will be exposed. Boy, that's piercing. He goes on to talk about do not go beyond what is written in verse 6, in the fact of Paul is teaching the Corinthians that keep their thinking biblical. And the church at this time obviously was very prideful. The reference of the apostles being put at the back of the line as they're walking into the arena, the sarcastic comparisons that Paul refers to of what they were saying about Paul. It's obvious the Corinthians were very proud of their spirituality, and they were somewhat embarrassed of Paul because of his humble state. In verse 11, Paul says, to this very hour we go hungry and thirsty. We are in rags. We are brutally treated. We are homeless. We work hard with our own hands. When we are cursed, we bless. When we are persecuted, we endure it. When we are slandered, we answer kindly. We have become the scum of the earth, the garbage of the world, right up to this moment, which is really a needling of the Corinthian church, of the Corinths at that point, because they did not want to live a life like that. They saw that as something that they somewhat despised in type of living. And Paul was contrasting the life of a teacher and of his apostle. And so there was quite an arrogance. And obviously, as Paul was wrapping up this particular portion of the letter, there was an arrogance of them not even thinking that Paul would even come, that he might even be afraid to come. But they were going to have, Paul was letting them know they were going to have a chance to say these things to his face. And at the end of this chapter, we get the question of, shall I come with a rod of discipline, or shall I come with a gentle spirit coming from love? Chapter 5, it's interesting to see how he goes. Y'all take care. God bless. And I hope you have a great day.